interrupt regular programming to bring you a message from Her Majesty's government. Please stand by and await further information. This is not a drill. They have arrived.
So here we are on episode 4.
Yep.
So episode 4, and we are now going to introduce our 2 new guests, which we've got on tonight, which is Mr. Elwood Enterprises, Dave. Welcome.
Thank you.
And also,
Will Hartley.
There we go, Will. So Will.
Did you forget Will's name?
No, I know, but sometimes it's nice to get people to intro themselves.
Dave and Will.
Dave and Will. So the reason for getting both of you guys on, obviously you're a up and coming YouTuber as well, plumber. Same as Pete. And you, Dave, we bumped into each other because I basically found you on social. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about, because we talked about it on previous shows, Pete, is gaining business through the likes of Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. You've done it. I presume you've done it.
Yeah.
Obviously, me and Dave actually met because I got let down on my back garden. And he's coming to do my back garden Monday.
Yep, that's right.
Monday, look at that. That's good timing.
Insert appropriate euphemism.
He's coming to plough my back garden.
Got let down on it.
On Monday.
Full rip out.
He needs it.
He's taking a sledgehammer to my back garden. So I thought that would be really, really good to actually get you on and talk about your business, because you've got a few guys working for you as well. And just sort of rack your brain as to how, you know, because you're still pretty new to the social side, aren't you? So you're still pretty new, but I've watched your account grow pretty rapid. And that's sort of how I came to found you. So I wanted to get your take on your business, how that sort of started. You know, anybody else that's sort of, you know, maybe working on their own, thinking, well, actually, you know, I've got too much work on here. I'm turning work down. Can I get somebody else to come and work for me? So how does that work? And how do you juggle your time and sort of give everybody a bit of an overview about how you started, how you came to be Elwood Enterprises?
Well, obviously, Elwood Enterprises came from me deciding that I needed to go out on my own, stop working for people, stop making other people money, and, you know, build something for myself. The name and all that, people always ask me, because it's not name related to me, it's not my surname, but everyone calls me Dave Elwood. All my suppliers walk in there, Dave Elwood, and no one knows my surname, so it's all right. But yeah, it was a family thing. When I first started out in business, I didn't have the sort of credit rating and this, that, and the other as a new business to get trade accounts at some of my suppliers. And my dad had the name Elwood Enterprises registered for a business purposes of his privately. He did some consultancy work. And I just started trading under Elwood Enterprises and built it from there. And then obviously my dad signed it all over to me. We did all that, and I just built it. And I actually quite like the fact that I've got a brand. It's, you know, it's different. It's not just DF building and whatever, you know, like you see so many of. Sorry.
HHP plumbing.
Sorry.
He's
Underscore UK.
He's like HHP plumbing.
It's just something a little different, and
It's traditional. Like my company's G&V Booth, which G is George and V is my granddad Vincent.
Yeah.
It's in the plumbing game. Well, even in the building game, it's traditional.
It was Mark Hartley, and then you
Yeah.
just got to brand it as something that's going to last.
If you'd have called it Hartley's, people would have thought you were making jam.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's one of them. But yours, I mean, even your sort of Insta handle's PB Plumber. So maybe it's more of a thing in the.
I mean, the company name G&V Booth. I could have added my initial, or I could have changed it, but I quite like the fact that it's traditional. You know, in Leicester, G&V Booth's been around so long. Why would I change it? Because you almost get repeat business from the name. So I'm not that bothered, not that fussed about having the P added in. And I like that my granddad name's still on it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, do you think you would have started your business then? Because I know how difficult it is to do certain things if you hadn't have had that option from your dad with the credit facility, because trying to get credit from anywhere, especially if you're a brand new business.
exactly, I'd definitely, continue, but it would have been a more difficult road from the start. Even going and getting, say, a kitchen on order and things like that, because my my trade background's carpentry.
Yeah.
I mean, as a business now, we do full construction, renovation, a lot of domestic work. But I just started off, hanging doors, fitting kitchens, doing all the the day-to-day carpentry things. And you go and get a $3,500 kitchen from Magnet or Howdens or whoever, and you've got no chance of getting it to site unless your customer's willing to fork out a large amount of money up front.
Yeah.
A month before you get there, so that you can get your stuff ordered.
So if you haven't got a trade account, then I'm presuming everybody's got to pay cash up front for everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it has to be paid well in advance of delivery, and some customers are nervous with that side of things, and you can understand it because there are
a bit like me after
exactly
after my predicament.
You've had a bad experience with builders, and everyone has to work from that and develop their own little way of doing things, and certainly doing it this way worked best for me.
I mean, for your scenario then, so you've just, you finished, I presume you did all your apprenticeship, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and
probably about 7 years ago now. So I left school like a lot of lads have done as they were 16, and straight away on Monday I was back into work. So I went into work for the first time. And
I mean, is that weird then when you're going into a wholesaler for the first time and you're actually ordering stuff for your business?
Yeah, 100%. Now, as it's just me, it's a really weird feeling, and we're ordering big things, so you're spending a lot of money, and at 24 it's a bit of a shock. So the hardest thing is gaining someone's trust, especially as a younger person. When you walk through that door, I think they look at you and think, actually, is this guy going to complete the job? But then walking out and having cups of tea and biscuits and them being filled with confidence, that's the best feeling ever.
I had a bit of that when I was younger. Obviously in the Tom Hanks suit, I'd walk in and everyone would go, "Oh God, there he is, the clothes peg."
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not buying anything off this guy. He can't even choose a suit. Do you know what I mean? But weirdly, when you're younger, you've got to deal with that as well. That was something actually that I sort of oversaw with that side of things.
I had situations when I was younger and I was working for people, and I was good at what I did, and I knew that I could do more and potentially make something for myself. And I was told, no one will take you seriously because you look too young. You'll go to quote a job and you'll be turned away because you look too young.
Yeah. I mean,
So, Will, you're 24.
Yeah.
Just talk us through. You left school. You got an apprenticeship.
Yeah, straight with my old man.
With your old man.
Yeah.
And then you did that.
I did college for 2 years, did the day release as everyone has, most, and actually in my first week of the apprenticeship he had a heart attack that week, so I thought, well, this is going to be like a nice short apprenticeship and I'll go into someone else, but he pulled through and he was absolutely fine, which is good. But since then he took a massive different view on everything, so he was finishing at 3:00 and this got not worse, but this got earlier and earlier, and I could see him backing off, and he'd already had a previous career, so he'd only done plumbing for 15 years. So it's not like your background. And then really I just thought, right, that's it. I'm just going to go for it, and learn as quick as I could. But if he hadn't let me do everything as much as he did, and get thrown into the deep end, I wouldn't be here now, I don't think.
So how long have you been? You're 24 now. How long have you been?
Since I was 16. So yeah.
I mean,
a few years now.
How long have you been doing your own thing then? Since
so only a year. So literally 12 months, maybe just over. He retired fully,
especially in a pandemic.
Yeah. So and I had to I had to prove to him, didn't I? Through that pandemic when it was really hard. Yeah. And when the accountant came back after that first 12 months, and she said, and they all looked at me and just smiled and said, "You're smashing it. Keep going." Yeah, it was it's a bit of a goosebump moment. So
it's daunting when you finally
make or break. Yeah,
that was the same when I interviewed Louis Fix Radio. Because I couldn't comprehend from working in the music business. You've got a guy here. Yeah, he's young, and he wants to start a radio station where they're all failing all over the country. Radio stations like hemorrhage money. They're just a bottomless pit. And he just woke up one day and was like, "Do you know what? I'm going to start a radio station." And you think like you've raised £150,000 in like outside investment, and then it hits your bank account and you're like, oh God, the first 20 grand's in there, it's actually real now. Yeah. So it's the same for you. If you two are starting a business, like it's absolutely mental.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it's a bit scary. But I think just trying to focus on trust at the moment with people. And obviously I've got all my dad's customers, so I look after them. I met all of them through my school holidays anyway, so they've known me since I was very young, and the new ones I meet now are my customers, so that's brilliant, and the relationship with them I've got is how I make it. So, just try and do the best at the moment. Yeah. Literally,
I think trust is quite easy to get now, a lot more because of social media. I mean,
People can see your work for
That's
a start.
it. I mean, I'm really, really transparent with things. You know, I film the lads at work every day. I go in there, I'm chatting away, little van vlogs in the morning, letting people know where we are and what jobs. And people seem to like to follow along, and you know, they'll be interested on what stage you're at, on which project. And you know, it's how we ended up being in touch in the first place.
If I hadn't have been on social media, prowling as I call it, you know, because I spend all my time on there, and I hadn't have been let down, I probably wouldn't have stumbled across your profile. But weirdly, at the exact same time I was having problems with my back garden, you just done that one job where I looked at it and looked at the pictures and I thought, do you know what, that guy's done a great job based in Birmingham, I'll give him a shout. Whereas normally, without the advent of social media, you'd be flicking through the yellow pages going, I'll try that one.
The reach for your customers is so much bigger now.
It's a bit like Check a Trade or something like that. You think, oh yeah, you go on there and you can read reviews, but you don't actually get to see that person's work. You can go on their website, but as you know, a bit like your Facebook profile, you only ever put your best shit on your website, don't you?
We tried Check a Trade and we just dropped it after the first 6 months. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, I did. I used one of them back in the day, but again, it's very hit and miss, and there's a lot of tire kickers and stuff as well. Do you know what I mean?
It's just a fight for the job. It was who can be the cheapest.
So social media, though, at the same time, has allowed you to sort of move away from like the clutch of somebody like that, where you feel like I need to be a part. A bit like you know how all the restaurants now are under the control of like Uber Eats and Deliveroo.
Yeah.
You know, they're under the clutches now of these, and they think, oh, I've got to use these because I'm getting good business off it. A bit like you guys with those, you know, bring business to with those types of
100%.
platforms. Actually, now you are the platform.
Yeah, they know what package they're getting now as well. So that when they ring me up and say, like last week, I've just watched a video on YouTube, can I have a price for a new boiler? He said, I want the pipe to look like that. I want the boiler to be like that in the airing cupboard. You can almost sell it as a product. You know what I mean? That whole thing.
Yeah. That makes I think that as well makes your job easier. Because actually, you know, when I get there, unless like the space that they want you to try and squeeze something into is like that, and they want a boiler that's this big, you know, at least you know when you're going in there, that's what I've got to do.
Yeah.
So
you
actually
haven't got to sell yourself as much, have you now? It's sort of, if you do that work beforehand.
I mean, where do you find? Because obviously, you know, like I said, we found each other on Instagram. You know, where do you get your primary work from on social? Which platform is it? Is it your YouTube or your Instagram?
I would say my little Facebook Village page.
Is it?
Yeah. So you know, there's obviously a couple of thousand on there.
Yeah.
Does anyone know a local plumber?
Yeah.
And yeah, they're just the name pops up. I get like 10, 12 recommendations, and people are like, "Well, that's it."
What do you do when you see somebody recommend somebody else that you've used? You're like,
just
I come around your boiler service,
staring down in the pub. I think. You know what I mean? So,
across the room like that.
but at the same time, you could lose it overnight. Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather do a free job than get it wrong.
Yeah.
And tick someone off.
Yeah.
You've got talking about selling yourself with your socials. Obviously, on your T-shirt, you got Worcester Bosch. Now that is a good sales tactic for you, because Worcester Bosch, they put a lot of money and effort into selling themselves, so customers already think that Worcester are the best boiler.
Yeah.
So that's a good sales tactic for you.
Yeah. Plus, living 20 minutes from the factory.
Yeah.
You know, I'd go in and
even stuff like gas safe registered.
Yeah.
You know, all those types of things where, you know, who are you letting in your house? If you walk in your house, that's your company name. It looks professional. The same with you. You know, that's one thing I've found as well from social media is you see other people doing certain things, or, you know, they're wearing a certain uniform, the way the van is, and you actually think, actually, I'll try that. And then when it works for you and your business grows, you know, not only are you learning off other people, but you're also picking up business and able to suggest business to people at the same time off social. It's like fantastic for that, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, you know, with Pete having not third generation now.
Yeah.
He's pretty solid, so that customer base must be quite big.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do any advertising. I don't use social media to get work. I do it. It's like a hobby, promoting the plumbing industry. I've got a lot of opportunities from it, obviously with my kit bags, and I get to go, like I went to Stabila, to the Stabila factory, all because of social media, but I don't use it to get jobs. I've had the odd job. I've done a few boiler installs now of people who've watched my YouTube channel, but that's not what I use it for. But you know, if I wanted to, I've got a platform and I could use it for that.
I think you probably started your socials though before that was really a thing. So you just loved tools, didn't you? So you were like, yeah, I'll post about different tools or show people a bag that I've brought.
Yeah, it's more. I do it because I enjoy it, and I like to, like I said, promote the industry, promote good practice.
I think it's evolved slightly since when we first started on there. Like how it's evolved now for you guys to actually get business and conduct yourselves.
I would have said even 12 months ago, I wouldn't have been on there for work.
Yeah.
It was a bit of banter. It was mates, and I wouldn't have known Pete if it wasn't for Instagram and yourself. And so, yeah. But now it's turned into people being a bit more professional. You can do it one or two ways, can't you? You know, so.
Yeah, I didn't even have my page 12 months ago.
No.
Yeah.
I started it in December.
Really?
And yeah.
You're already over 10,000.
Just about to, yeah, well, nine somewhat, yeah. 9 somewhat. But yeah, didn't even have a page back in December.
6.5.
How many are on your YouTube?
Well, just hit 1,000 subscribers. So
I mean, like people, even us, to get to. How many have we got on YouTube, Jack? 250.
Less than 300.
About 250.
Yeah.
And even that was a slog.
so hard, and then you look at Pete, and but it's just hard.
You
work.
look at Pete and you're like, you arsehole.
It's hard work.
It's hard graft.
Yeah.
So you're 24, you're running your own plumbing and heating business, which is crazy for a 24-year-old to be doing that. I mean, I wasn't even contemplating doing that when I was 24. And then
What were you doing at 24?
What was I doing at 24? I was...
Chasing skirt.
No. I was... I'm just trying to think. Was I...
Fireman.
I think I bought my house when I was 25.
Yeah.
So when I was 24, I was probably still into going to the gym, which was
Pete,
like...
you're still into going to the gym now.
No, so what, I'm into
Did
going
he
to the
tell
gym
you
now.
he goes to the gym?
Don't take the piss. I'm into going
was a
to
runner.
the gym is my only hobby.
Yeah.
But when I started going to the gym, I think I was 18, and I was obsessed with it. It's all I did. It was
Okay.
after work.
Pete, you're still obsessed.
All I thought about. But when I got to 24,
And you got your house.
I stopped.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the gym at all because I couldn't afford to do my house up and go to the gym. I didn't have time. I didn't have the money. I used to just eat beans on toast, cheese and
I was
crackers.
about to say to you, when I bought my first place, for about a year, I lived on it. I was a baked bean connoisseur.
Yeah.
I actually put myself down. If I'd have had my Twitter profile, baked bean connoisseur. I tried them all. Aldi,
Tried 'em all.
Aldi's own, like Lidl's own.
Daddy's beans.
Even if Farm Foods had done beans, I would have had them.
Yeah.
The
Frozen
alphabets.
beans. I had all types of beans.
So to enable me to finish work as a plumbing apprentice on a very poor wage and then go and work on my house, all I could afford was beans on toast. Or I'd walk down, there was on the street where my house is, there's a shop, and I'd buy a sausage roll and I'd just eat that, and I'd work till 10, 11, then I'd go home and then I'd go to work. So I couldn't go to the gym. But then this is a funny story, but I tried to get back into the gym when I was 30 and I got shingles. So I had this rash that went from my back all the way around and joined in my belly button. I was like, what the hell's going on? And it was shingles. But I didn't have any other illness associated with it. Just had this weird rash. And then I prolapsed a disc in my spine. So at this point, I was obviously doing my house, but I'd stopped going to the gym, but I still played football 3 times a week. So we had training on a Wednesday, a game on a Saturday, a game on a Sunday. And I was
Dave's looking at me like, God, exercise.
I was fit. And it was one morning and I stood in the doorway and I was like leaning on the door and I pulled my leg up to put my sock on and my disc just popped out.
Do you know, I'll tell you a funny story. So I'm in Morrison's and literally I bent down to pick up a jar of Coleman's mustard.
Yeah.
It was on like the second shelf down at the bottom. Bent down, picked it up and went, oh fuck. Literally went like that. The disc just popped. I'm on the floor, like spasming like this, and they couldn't get the jar of Coleman's mustard out the hand. And you know, like the Dr. Pepper advert, code 99, code 99,
make you
Coleman's
pay for
mustard. They took me out in a wheelchair with the thing stuck in me.
Just car park.
My mum had to take me for acupuncture or something. Oh, it's so embarrassing.
Yeah, well, I did my disc, so then I couldn't obviously get back into the gym then because I was waiting for my back to recover.
Yeah.
But I think when I was probably 33, I started back at the gym. So by then I was, fully qualified.
So if you're not at the gym, there's still time for you, even at 24.
I can have a gap. I can have a rest. Yeah.
Get back in at 30, prolapse your
Sorted.
disc, and then you look like Pete.
Rhino Trade Insurance sponsors Trade Legends, the best insurance for insuring your van and your tools. Keep them safe, and you know what they say, don't be a fool, insure your tool.
Yeah.
So what made you start the YouTube channel?
It was a mate of mine, and he did it. He vlogged every day, and he said, "You should be doing this. You should be putting your work out there." And I said, "No, there's no way I'm ever going to do YouTube." And he literally made me an account, sort of with me half knowing, and then he just came out and he videoed me a little sort of intro, and it was that cool. It was the first ever thing I really posted on Instagram properly, and I thought.
Do you look back on some of the stuff? Because I do. I look back at some of the posts and the videos.
This is awful. That's good, and yeah.
Especially the haircuts. Some of your haircuts were.
Oh mate, I used to wear a cap.
The hat.
He looked,
I used to wear an old.
Like one of the members of Ocean Colour Scene. Pete did.
It's a barber cap. It's like a wax cap, brown cap, and I used to live in it. And they used every time I went on site, they used to go choo choo. Here comes the train driver. But I loved it.
I'm going to dress up as a train driver.
I used to see it and I used to think like this car's really cool, but just take that hat off.
You're into that young farmer stuff, though.
No, I just
right up your street.
I'm just a wannabe.
No.
It's all good fun.
Oh, crack me up. I mean, looking at your socials, then obviously you don't do YouTube now. Is that something that you're thinking about? Is there anything that you're not doing that you're thinking? Well,
have you got time to do it?
No, I haven't got time. But my biggest thing is I'm rubbish with that side of things, with technology and all that. It's been a real steep learning curve, even getting to where I am now. But because I'm really picky with like the videos and the reels and the pictures.
Everybody is, aren't they?
Yeah,
you're the worst for. You'll re-record something.
You say
like
that
16 times.
I'm very fussy with what I put on my channel, what I put on my page. Like he's constantly sending me stories, he tagged me in, thinking I'll reshare them, and I hardly ever do. And it's not because
he's just a miserable.
No, it's not because I'm miserable. It's just I'm very precious about what I put on my story. Same when people message you and they say, "Can I have a shout out?" Not really, because if I do one for you, I've got to do one for everyone.
You can go on. Is it Cameo? Like Nigel Farage and start doing happy birthday.
Yeah. I do get that sometimes. I really
and
like
he can do one for you with his hand.
I'll get a DM from a girl.
Yeah.
So I'll be straight on, open it straight away.
Send me a signed picture.
So if we want to reply, we've got to put a wig on then.
And they asked me if I'll record a message for their boyfriend because it's his birthday. Or one time a girl sent me.
Is this a serious thing?
Yeah. She sent me a birthday card for me to fill in and send back to her, which I thought was nice. But I do get that sometimes. Yeah.
It gets weirder by the moment. I learned stuff about him and I'm like, it gets weirder by the moment.
But I'm very particular about what I put on, but I do everything on my phone.
Yeah.
I record everything on my iPhone, I edit it on my iPhone, whereas you're big into your equipment, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I look at all these cameras now and I'm like, drooling at it. But yeah, I spent a bit of money on a camera and all this, and I thought this would be the way forward. And then when I see Pete's just doing it off an iPhone, it's
you get wrapped up in it because you start to see the channel grow, or you start to see your thing grow, and you think, actually, I want to do better content, which isn't a bad thing. It's just A, having the time, like you said, B, like knowing how to use the equipment as well.
Yeah. I wouldn't have a clue how to use it, but what I think is, I don't know if you agree, I think it's more relatable if it's not got the production value. Obviously, it's nice to watch things that have been produced and edited well, but you're watching a tradesman at work. It's real. You're watching a real thing happening. Is it more relatable if it's just filmed on a phone and it's
crazy because I look at like other people's videos and I think they've just gone through the day and they've filmed 8 clips and they've just stuck them together and that is it, and they've done really well, which is fair enough. But I will sit there and I will just be sweating over a load of footage that I just can't do anything with because I can't produce what I want. So
I'm the 8-clip guilty man.
But there's nothing wrong with that because you're actually probably putting more content out than me.
Yeah, because the key, I've said this to you before, the key is stop thinking about it, just get it out there and just do it. And that's the difference between
like the Unilight review and the big low loss header job I did. It's all sat there on the laptop and I thought, unless I've got an intro, but if I just actually did it and got it out there.
To be fair, you can actually go on, there's that website, isn't it, called Fiverr? And you can actually pay people to do intros. Really? Yeah, you can pay people to do intros. Like, I'll just say, when Jack's got some spare time, I'll ask for some help. But you can actually pay people. But again, when you're working in trades and you're not doing that stuff every day, like I didn't really realise it until I started employing other people to help me with stuff. And people like, you do realise you can just go on and get somebody to do a voiceover for the podcast and it costs you, I don't know, 20 quid. But it's difficult to get to that point. I mean, like, we've got all this shiny camera equipment in here. I don't know how to use it. But thank God I've got somebody that does know how to use it. So it's, you know, it is difficult. I mean, one thing I actually wanted to bring up with you guys now is the price of stuff, because that's something we haven't touched on in any of the podcasts. You know, like price of materials, pricing up jobs. Obviously, loads of people that are going to be listening now.
It's gone up massively. That was the one conversation we had the other day at home, and it was
because we haven't talked about that on here. We've talked about obviously social and stuff like that, and apprentices and getting into different trades, but we haven't really even talked about like what's actually happening now. So I mean, what's your sort of view on what's sort of going on? I mean, you're from the plumbing side. You're from like
general building,
absolutely
everything. Building like wood, it's
plywood.
Like, perfect example, I've just priced up a job with some composite decking.
Yeah.
And composite decking used to be 3 times the price of timber decking. It's now very slightly cheaper. Wow. And, you know, it used to be the sort of the luxury option that if you wanted composite decking and you were paying big bucks for it.
Is that the same with the fencing and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's everything.
Especially on Alex's job. Or
Mate, your job's quadrupled.
Anything where we've got like Scandinavian softwood involved at the moment is just ludicrous.
You priced up my job a while back. So even that, like...
So now he's out of pocket, or someone...
He shouldn't be out of pocket. Hopefully he's not out of pocket, because I wouldn't want anybody doing a job and they're not paid for it.
There's ways and means of working around everything. I mean, you just have to be really honest and upfront with your customers, and obviously, you know, let people know if they are naive to the situation, which I can't believe people are now. Back in sort of April, May this year, people were, because there was no media coverage of it. I
mean, the irony of how we met was actually the guy that had done my driveway. I actually paid him $8,000 up front because he was going to do my back garden. I said, go and buy materials now, because I was going into Travis Perkins and they were going, God, this has gone up, God, this has gone up, this has gone up. And I just said, look, I'm not having it when you come to do it in May and you go, well, the price of materials is like double now and I need double the money. So I paid him the money up front.
Yeah.
And literally he hadn't gone and bought anything, he'd use it on another job.
No, God. See.
So even me, Scooby Mr. Business 101, still makes mistakes like that. But luckily, he'd done my sister's back garden and I took the money off that. But otherwise, I could have potentially lost that money from doing that. So hence, obviously, why I was a bit sort of like with you, I was like, man, I'm not paying for anything.
And we'll go to that quite a few times where the person before has been, like, maybe not done over, but really been treated badly.
Yeah. That's got to be difficult for you guys.
It's even harder.
Yeah.
It is difficult, especially like because, I mean, we book up quite far in advance. You know, we're sort of, you know, booking in jobs well into the new year already, and how am I supposed to price those jobs accurately, not knowing what's going to happen? I mean, stuff that I priced up back in April now is 40% more expensive. How can you know?
I mean, is that the same for you in plumbing?
I mean, I'm more reactive, so it's like breakdowns and things. I don't really book up probably anything more than 2 weeks in advance.
It's the same as me. Yeah, because I feel as well that if someone's boiler breaks down and they're local and you know them well, you can't actually get to them. If you've got 6 weeks work in the book, what are you going to do?
Okay, because the thing is, if somebody's ringing you and you're getting all these phone calls, like, if you don't book up for that set period, are you going to lose that business? Because people don't like to wait. You know what they're like. It's sort of, I don't wish to wait. I mean, stuff like a garden or something like that, where it's a bigger job, they might wait. But if it's the plumbing side,
so that's something I'm learning now. So I'm learning loads, and when I listen to you guys talk, and it's fantastic because everyone's a little bit older and they've done it. But
a bit more grey.
Yeah, a bit more grey. Yeah, well, I can't really talk, but no, because like I'm better off now saying I can't get to you. Use this guy. He's a mate of mine, and he'll look after you. Rather than what I've been doing is just sort of leading them on.
That's another thing as well that I find with social is, like I was speaking to Andy Cam about this, is before, like you said, everybody going to the wholesaler, nobody talked to each other, nobody would recommend anybody else. Whereas actually now I've found that, like, you know, people are actually more open to going, well, actually I can't do it. Yeah, I'll toss you that sometime in the future. I know I'm going to get that back. Yeah, whereas that wasn't prevalent before. Yeah. I don't think.
It's like with Ben, I'm on a big job with him at the minute. We've been on it for about 8 weeks together. We went on Friday night to quote another job together, and then sometimes he'll go and do a job, and if he's not got time, he'll pass it to me and I can pass it to him. And rather than a local plumber being my competition now, we're working together.
In tandem. Yeah.
You know, we're not in business together, but we're helping each other. We work well together. And I've got people I've met off social media like Marcus. I met him on a charity install, and I regularly work with him. He's an older guy. He's not got an apprentice anymore. So big jobs he doesn't want to take on his own. So he'll ring me and say, "Can block your diary out for these days. I've got a job and I'll go and help him, and then he'll come and help me.
I mean, you probably need that quite a lot, because I see Ryan SQT when he's always like, plasterer wanted in Romford, goodbye, and he does that. And I always think, like, for somebody like that, for somebody like you, where you're doing so many different jobs, and you've got to rely like that. That's the other thing as well for me. Doing this is, I'd say 90% of the time it's reliable. I know where I'm at. Obviously for you guys at the moment, you've got prices going like that. You've got not being able to get materials.
Seasonal, yeah. Boilers, not even been turned on.
All of a sudden, everybody's boilers, bang, 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 bang. And it's sort of like you've got to try and work around that. But for you especially, like, I need a plasterer.
Yes,
and the plasterers let you down.
I did it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it also brings us work as well, because I've had many jobs this year now that have come to me through Instagram where someone said, I need this doing, and they've been like, check out Elwood Enterprises, and then you look at your DMs and it's like, can you come and quote me for this? Can you come and quote me for that? And it's all off the back of this sort of continuous recommendation, but it's there. Your socials now are almost like your CV, but it's a daily CV that you're updating every single day, and you can show people exactly what you're doing.
Like a lookbook, really.
Yeah.
100%. So would you do that? Because you say you're booking to next year, but would you pass work on if you couldn't get to it?
100%, yeah. I give people, the first thing I say to them when they bring me up and they say, we want this extension doing, I say, how soon are you looking to have it done?
Yeah. I did it to him the other day. I need my lead work rebashing in because my render is a knob. Having that, I'm having the house rendered.
Yeah.
So literally, like, the render, he's mañana, I'll be there tomorrow. And he literally gets this one part and he goes, I didn't realise that your lead's all battered there. I was like, come on. I was like, I'll ring Dave. Dave, please. Dave, pick up the phone, please. He's looking, going, Alex Inslee. But luckily, he was like, I'll fit you in. Otherwise, I would have been buggered waiting like 6 weeks. The guy next door almost scaffolds in his back garden. He wants to get his driveway done. So I'm like, stuff like that. You just got to have people that are reliable that can actually help you out. But there's not many people like that, I find.
Yeah. I had one the other week. A girl I used to... She worked at one of the letting agencies I worked for. She just rang me out of the blue. Can you come and...
Service my boiler, Pete.
No, can you come and...
can you come? Pete! Come on.
Get it out the gutter. Can you come and put some pipes in the floor for a radiator? Because the screed's going down. I said, when's the screed going down? Wednesday morning. It was Monday night. Yeah. But then you think, well, why... What's happened to you must have had a plumber lined up to do this. What's happened? And then you sort of think, do I want to get involved in this job?
Yeah, that's like with not in a bad way, but builders, when they come up to you and say randomly, can you come do a house for me or something? Or, where's your pet plumber? What happened to him? What have you done to him? Like, so it's a bit, I don't know if you work for builders at all, but some guys...
I don't generally, because
it's a different line of work.
Really busy doing what I'm doing and what I'm set up for, but... The job I'm on at the minute, there is a builder there, Joe, and he's such a nice guy, and he's done such a good job on that. I would work for him.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. There's some, and like you just stay with them.
It is difficult, and sometimes trades just go AWOL.
Yeah,
you can be using someone for years, like I have, and then all of a sudden you just can't get them on the phone.
Yeah.
It's like how many thousands of pounds worth of work have I given you? How many times have I booked you continuously, and then all of a sudden you're not taking my calls? It's quite difficult to manage.
Yeah. Oh, it's a bit like that though when the pandemic first started, and you could get certain things, and you can get like plaster.
Plaster was impossible.
And then all of a sudden, everybody had like done all the jobs, but then they were waiting for the plaster, and then all of a sudden the plaster came in, and all the other stuff had gone out.
Yeah.
So it's just
and the pandemic got rid of guys that weren't sure about staying in it anyway. Yeah. So, do you know what I mean? They were thinking, I'm not too keen on this, or they'd work half days.
I mean, have you been more busy? During the
I did have
pandemic?
2 months off, I reckon. So, but we couldn't go into houses at all. So everyone was terrified of it, weren't they? At the start?
Yeah, we shut down for 7 weeks.
Yeah. So, but then after that, it's been fantastic. So I don't know where all the cash has come from. But
I worked all the way through, but it was like I had 2 jobs, so I'd go and do the 2 jobs. It was great because I'd go and do these 2 jobs, and then and the weather was amazing, wasn't it? So then I get home, and it's like, what's my options? Do a bit of gardening, do a bit of sunbathing.
Sunbathing in Leicester.
Well, the sun's out,
guns out.
and I don't know if I've already. It's hard to remember what you've already said, but I had a new kitchen 7 years ago.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying.
And I only finished it because of lockdown, because I'm too busy working. And when you're busy, you don't want to do work in your own house.
That's meant to be when you retire, isn't it? That you do all the jobs around the house.
Yeah. Well, you get to someone's house who's retired, their garden's immaculate and it looks amazing because they've got the time to do it.
But that's the scary thing about my dad now, because he's retired. He's changed a little bit as well, so he doesn't. There's not much for him to do in the days. He's got his bikes and things, and he's got a hobby or two. But
does he regret giving up work? Is he one that can't let go like my dad?
I think he's pleased with how it's gone, or I hope he is. But all I've done is modernise it, and I think you've done it the same on an even bigger scale. So
I mean, even I look at the stuff that I do now, and actually, even I'm too old.
Yeah.
Like every job is a young person's game. Like I still look at like TikTok, for example.
Yeah.
Blows my mind. I still can't. You're
That was one thing I said I would never do, and my TikTok's great. I love it now. The two things I love about TikTok is, one, not knowing whether a video is going to blow up or whether it's not, because there is no prediction for it whatsoever. There's something you could spend ages on, make a great video, and it does no views, and then something that you spent 20 seconds recording and does 800,000 views, and you're like, what's gone on here?
It's age even a thing, because I do nothing on TikTok. I've put 3 videos on in the last year, and then you guys are all absolutely hammering it.
All I do is I put everything that goes on Instagram on my TikTok, and I see the difference between them. Right. And basically the difference is TikTok's a horrible place. The trolls and the comments and stuff on there. But I actually see my Instagram's
What's the worst comment you get?
All sorts of stuff. People.
You had anyone telling you to kill yourself?
There's a lot of experts on TikTok. There's a lot of people that want to tell you how to do your job. I mean, I'm sure you get the same thing. Well, you're wrong with everything.
I did the first video where it's actually me talking to camera on TikTok, which I was really nervous about doing because they are brutal in the comments. But was just saying about a job I'd done, which was a really nice job, and I think it's on about 700,000 views now, and it's on 700,000 views because there's so many negative comments on it. People telling me, and it's so. I do a lot of work, a lot of jobs, and I've been a plumber for a long time. And I did a job using press fittings and a press tool, and you get these.
Can't you solder?
Yeah. tell me you can't solder without telling me you can't solder, and it's the logic of that is, it's like I said on my video, it's like me putting a video of me eating a pizza and you assuming that I eat pizza for every single meal. It's one job where I've used a press tool and a press fitting, and then they're saying, oh, you can't solder, and it just, they're just looking for something to pick at.
Being able to take it though, isn't it?
I find it hilarious. This is where I have my fun. My Instagram is a nice, smiley, fluffy place where I'm really positive, and there's no trolls, there's no one saying any bad stuff. TikTok, I give it them.
Yeah,
like full on. They get the most clever, witty, sarcastic responses from me, and I really enjoy that side of it. I'll go on there to see when I'm being trolled, and I just want to make sure that one comment I give them back, I get nothing in return. I had a guy on there the other day. I just put up a little tips video of just me corking a door frame.
Yeah.
Right. And I had this guy go on there saying, I'm a master decorator, you should use a wet rag. And that is the voice of a troll, by the way. And they talk like this. And I said, mate, to be honest with you, I'm not that bothered, because I only do this as a hobby when I'm not an astronaut. And then he come back with some other comment. I was like, and I just said, listen, mate, I've got NASA on the phone. I've got to go and do some sealing up on the space station, so take it easy. And I enjoy that side of it and just giving them back. I mean, the post that I did where you originally saw that garden transformation where it was a huge job, 60 ton of stuff came out of it. It was a 2-way slope, and we turned it into this beautiful modern garden with porcelain slabs, rendered walls, artificial grass. The amount of trolls I had on that, people saying that I destroyed nature, and they preferred the before picture, honest to God.
All those dinosaurs you dug up, that was
What's your favourite? The astronaut one's a good one. What's your favourite ever reply?
I don't know whether I can say them on here.
No, go for it, mate. Go for it.
No,
we bleep out anything that's too.
Yeah. I just enjoy just shutting people down. I can't remember the individuals, to be honest.
So I've got 2. One guy, it was a van tour I did. And I did the van tour. I'm not stupid. I know showing what's in your van is not a clever idea. But the van tour I filmed was my old van. I'd got a new van. So it was my old van. And this guy put, oh, now I know what's in your van. Let me know where you park it so I can come and steal your tools, which rubbed me right up the wrong way. So I just put, I park it on your mum's drive. which I thought was a great comeback. And then another
That's one of them that when you say it, you go,
You've got to,
oh, wait, it's up now.
Yeah, and then another one was a guy. It was one of my kit bags, and I was showing one of my kit bags, and obviously they're
Did he reply?
No, I don't think he did. No.
And
My
here
kit
he
bags.
is.
Yeah, he's here today. He's absolutely massive.
Bring him in.
Can he be bigger?
He trains at Elite Fitness.
I tell you, yeah, Elite Fitness. So I've just been to his gym today, before we came to film, and the amount of they're absolutely massive guys now.
But
Felt
they're
so
all
small.
trained, aren't they? Like, you know.
Yeah. Well, I
They're
felt
serious.
tiny.
Don't end up on one of their mum's drives. That's all I'm going to say.
So this guy, I've done the review on my kit bag. I've shown all the features, and he's put, yeah, well, I just keep my tools in a bucket. So I said, unless you're a window cleaner, you turned up at my house with your tools in a bucket, you're not going to get the job, mate. And then he come back, he's like, I'll have you know, I do jobs in £1 million houses and all this. And they just, I like to wind them up, you know, just what to say to trigger them, to get them angry, or you just kill it with kindness, and you just, that's the way to
not
end
on
it.
TikTok. I don't kill anything with kindness on TikTok. I did this one video, just different techniques of just cutting 5x2.
Yeah.
Just my 3 best techniques: hand saw, circular saw, chop saw.
That's a recent one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it did quite well. It did 500,000 views or whatever. And I just remember this one comment, and he was like, "Oh, what about a chainsaw?" And I was like, "Well, not if you want to make an accurate cut." And he was like, "Oh, I can trim my nails with a chainsaw." I just said, "Make sure you tag me in that video when you put it up, because I'm dying to see it."
You're thinking now. You heard 500,000 there. I could see it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Big houses.
You also get comments from guys, and they'll literally say, "Why didn't you do this? It was in the video, but they didn't watch to the end."
Yeah. Or they've watched 3 minutes of it, and there's like,
But they've just watched the video and thought, "Oh, I can say this negative comment."
So I'm still.
Why
at the
didn't you do
stage.
this? Well, I did do that.
Yeah.
You've just not watched the whole video. You got so excited about leaving a negative comment.
That's it.
You thought you caught me out on something. You got ahead of yourself there. You should have just watched the video. Like, it was in the video.
There must be a big community of like grown middle-aged men who never put a picture up on their profiles, got no followers, no content, and they just sit there scrolling and just trolling people.
I
It's
don't
a
know if
very
anyone's into
strange
fishing
place.
Here, but a lot of them are into fishing. So everyone that trolls have got a fish like this, and they're looking.
And they all talk like this.
That's it.
why do you always say to me, your browser history fishing? What are you trying to say to me? That's what he always says to me, fishing and pegging. Pegging and fishing.
But then you do get the odd good bit thing out of it. I mean, I did a video recently, and it was one of them things. I was just showing my apprentice how to mark up and cut architrave out in a door frame, and I went to go and show him one of my little tricks that we've all got because we've been doing it for so long. And I went, "Wait there, film this." And I put this video up, and I had hundreds of messages from carpenters saying, 22 years I've been a carpenter, how have I not done this before? I'm trying that tomorrow.
That's the great thing about
And
social, though,
it
isn't it?
genuinely, like, it fully gratified me, because TikTok's one of those, it is normally quite a toxic place, but this one video I had all these messages of like people saying, I'm doing that.
The mecca of the TikTok video.
Yeah, King Carpenter.
I like the messages. Sometimes you get one where it says, you made me fall back in love with plumbing, or you inspire me to be better at my
You
job.
go solo. Go
Such a
self-employed.
romantic, isn't it?
Well,
the nice
those nice ones, they blast away all the negativity and the crap from the others, because you know, if you can help one person, right, then what does it matter what the other 100 idiots who don't know what they're talking about say? Like,
Yeah, I'm still at the stage where I don't give anything back. I'm still too polite.
Yeah.
So I'll just
But
ignore it.
but that might just be you personally.
I think so.
Some
Yeah.
people are a bit more like, do you know what? I'm gonna
get on TikTok.
get the
Get on
TikTok
TikTok,
Uzi
that's
out.
great.
and
You try
just-
fitting Worcester Bosch boilers and seeing the hate. It is off the scale in the plumbing community.
And normally people have got a cut thumb like you, isn't
Yeah.
it? Where it's like, I cut
you
my
know.
thumb and I what's the Bosch?
We've got guys now chucking them off balconies and things, saying "see you later," you know, like, no names, but I just don't. It's madness. So yeah,
The trouble
But I
with
need
it
to
is,
watch
though,
some of these
it's-
videos.
it is
price
gonna-
and all this, and
yeah, the negative stuff like that is if you are a bit sensitive or
But you're still finding your feet with your trade. I think once you've been doing it for a while,
100%.
then you'd be
But
like,
it's
"Do you know
going to
what? I
stop
don't need
guys
to."
from putting their work online, and it's going to make people think, oh, do I really want to put something out there if it's going to get this negative?
It's weird for me because running a business, like I love watching what all you guys do, and it's sort of like, especially when you do a garden or something like that, or you're doing some of that organ-like pipe work, and I'm like, wow, look at that and how neat it is. Like I find it like, so I never understand another person
Someone
in that
not in the
trade,
trade. An accountant messaged me the other day and said that.
Not loving it.
But a year ago, I didn't realise that people like you existed. I didn't realise that.
Thanks, Dave.
That I really didn't. I was completely naive to the fact that people wanted to see you building a house or putting in a boiler or that side of things. It's this weird sort of almost.
So how old are you now?
36.
36, because that's, that in itself is like just finding that out.
I know I don't look it.
No, but just finding that out at 36 is like, I bet you're thinking, God, I wish I'd have found that earlier.
Oh, my sister was the one who made me make an Instagram page. Last December I did a bit of wall paneling for her, and obviously there seems to be this community on Instagram especially where there's all these people who follow Mrs. Hinch, and it's all about home decor and
Stacey Solomon.
Honestly, I didn't realise what a big community it was, and they like everything, the range or B&Q post on Instagram. And she said to me, like, when I'd done this wall paneling for her, why haven't you got an Instagram account? I want to tag you in the photo and we put in. Who wants to see your wall paneling like your mates?
You probably didn't even take photos before, did you?
Not to the same extent as I did then. I had like a crappy Facebook page that I had like 150, 200 followers or whatever. It was all my family.
That's it.
You're not reaching anyone. You're not bringing in any business, and you're not generating any heat around your brand or your name or anything. And then all of a sudden, that first month, I gained about 1,000 followers really, really quickly. I said, all right, this could be going somewhere. So I started putting effort into it and, remembering as well. Like, I'd go in to rip a kitchen out and the doors would be off. They'd be in the skip and I'd be like, I didn't take my before photos. And all of a sudden I'm there like, saying to the lads at work now, look, take photos beforehand, because obviously I run 2 or 3 jobs at a time now and my lads are spread between them. And like, make sure you take your photos, make sure they're portrait, make sure you take your stage photos from exactly the same spot so that when I clip them together. And no one
like
does
your before and after with the
transitions and stuff.
So this is the thing that people don't realise, like the things you got to think about. And I always remember this one. So I'm at a job, and I just needed about a foot of 50mm copper. And could I find a bit on the van? No. The day before, I'd spent 2 or 3 hours fucking about bending 50mm copper to make a thing with my name on it. Said PB.
Yeah.
And then I'm at a job, my actual real job, and I've not got enough copper because I've been, what a twat. But it's the things you do.
I mean, from your side, so is it just you currently with the business? Because obviously, how many people have you got working?
6 now.
6, I mean.
But that's doubled this year.
Yeah, wow. I mean, how do you sort of organise that? Because for me, as like this business, obviously everybody comes here, they all come to one place. I haven't got to go and do anything. I haven't got to order materials. Everything sort of comes here. Whereas you're here, there, and everywhere, and you've got to organise jobs.
I am a glorified delivery man these days.
It's not a bad thing.
No, I end up, the lads are really good. I've built a really good team. I'm really, really pleased with the guys that I've got working for me. One of them's been with me like for 5 years now. He's my number 2, my site manager. And then I got a labourer about this time last year who's still with me now. Really, really good lad. And then I took on some subbies earlier on in the year just because when the Instagram was blowing up, I was booking in more and more and I didn't want to turn the jobs down. So I got recommended some subbies. Some were, through mutual friends or connections from suppliers and stuff like that. And it ended up after booking the one guy solid for like 3 months, I said to him, do you just want a job out of this? And it worked out well for him. And he said, the side of things he didn't like was dealing with the customers and searching for work all the time. And I was in a position to offer him that job. And then, we just moved on from that.
Some people don't want that. They don't want the stress of their own stuff.
Well, it is stressful dealing with customers, especially like, doing what you do. How many different customers do you have in a week? And
someone said to me the other day, do you just drive out all the week? Is that all you do?
I remember
just because they see your van everywhere.
I remember when I was a one-man band chippy, and you're on a day job every day, so you've got to go and look at that job, price it, get your materials ordered, and there's a lot of work to do to get to those stages. So I'm glad that I'm at the position now where I'm on bigger jobs. I've got a bigger team. We're doing bigger projects, and we might be there 2 months, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. And it's a lot less running around beforehand to get your jobs. And all I have to do then is just make sure that I'm organised and that I manage the boys and make sure they've got what they need for getting the jobs done. And it's about putting trust in people, and I'm trusting them with my business, with my name. And luckily, I've built a good, strong team. And
do you miss not being more hands-on?
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
Because
I know, like you want to do other stuff, but I know if you weren't on the tools, you'd be a bit like.
Yeah, I mean, my content is me working, so I can't really stop working, and I've not I'm not at that stage where I want to stop working. I still enjoy it. I know I went for a bit of a phase during lockdown where I didn't enjoy going to work, but I seem to have got that sorted now, and I'm back enjoying the work. So while I'm thinking about the future and what I'd like to do, but at the minute it's just I want to carry on working. I want to be good at my job. I want people to see, think that I'm good at my job and create my content around that. But it might evolve.
I mean, the good thing for me as well about having you on is we had Adam on last night. So Sparky apprentice.
18 was he 18?
18. He's got 2 years left to go.
Yeah.
Obviously can't be left unsupervised on site and stuff like that. So it's good to see from him to you to then obviously you guys.
It's really hard as well, like, because when you speak of having 6 lads or so, and and then an office like this for yourself, for me to have an apprentice, it's like, this is a big move.
Have you thought about? Have you got plans to do?
I really, really would love one, and I get messages a lot. Most weeks.
I mean, what stops you then from doing that?
I think it's the fear of work just dipping off, and then what do you do with that guy? But I think if you had that person, are you going to produce or finish more work and on to the next one, and you're going to keep going? I think if you did it, you'd never look back, and you'd probably say that.
I took my first apprentice on this year.
Yeah,
he's been with me about 4 or 5 weeks. Really good lad. But what you're also doing with your apprentice is you're moulding someone into your company.
To work how you want. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he loves it already. He's already got his own Instagram page, Elwood Apprentice.
I'll follow him.
He loves it.
That's amazing.
he tags your stuff in it.
But
That's
like
why.
going back to the trust thing, if you do take an apprentice, you've got to trust them, because like for you, you're only a year into your own business.
So my dad could fully trust me, obviously.
Yeah.
But
you
for me
need to
take
find that
next
with
person.
someone, because you're going to train them up. You're going to obviously pay them. And then, like I said before in episodes before, you give them all your knowledge, you train them up, you pay for them while they're going through college. As soon as they're qualified, there's the danger that they're then going to become your competition.
And in my little village, there's a couple of lads who are fantastic, and the one I'd have him next week, but that might be their end game. But it doesn't matter. You just got to take that, haven't you? I think.
If you don't take
and
that
if you
risk,
treat them well enough, they
don't want to leave.
Yeah.
Don't want to leave. So is that something that you're looking to do then in the future?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Is
really
expand?
Would. Yeah, definitely. I'd like a few vans. Some guys don't want anything like that. They just
Well, I'm happy being on my own, and like you say, if you have got an apprentice,
like I said, he's miserable.
and I want to go, like today, I've been at Tool Fair again today. I was at Tool Fair yesterday. If I had an apprentice, would he have to come with me, or would I have to give him 2 days off and pay him?
Or could he be working and
well, the thing is, you can't leave him on their own.
Apprentice, no, but someone
Officially.
Yeah.
He's still working now.
He's not stopping until I leave here.
Forgot to say go home.
Yeah. No, so that, like, for me, obviously, what's your sort of future
Bigger.
plan?
Keep growing. Yeah, I mean we've grew quite significantly in a fairly short period of time, and I'm ambitious to the point that I do want. We've got a couple of vans now. I want more. I want to keep building the team, and
it's difficult to not want more. For me personally, like when I actually have to stop sometimes, because we went to the old office round there, didn't we? And it's an absolute,
Just to take all this in.
No, it's an absolute hole. Like, it was awful. Like, I actually didn't realise. There's so many things where I look back and I think, like, how was I so naive? But I was just young. Like, I didn't realise that when you bring a customer or a distributor to your office, you want to have that first impression. Like the suit. It took me 3 or 4 years to realise, actually, invest in a tailored suit. So when I go into a meeting, people don't go, God, he looks 12, which used to happen all the time. But, occasionally I have to stop sometimes and go back to the old office, and I look at that place and I go, God, we've done that in like such a short space of time. But I never understand, like, I always want more, but sometimes obviously, like, that's not for everybody.
I think you've got to find a balance, haven't you? I mean, where I've got to now, I need to make what we are now really, really successful. And when it's so successful and we're making great money, and I look at it and think we can do the same again, that's when I'll expand again.
Because you've gone the other way, so you haven't had an apprentice or haven't wanted to like have a group of people working for you, but you've done it in the other way with the tool bags. Obviously, we're going to be doing a light together.
Yeah.
So you're doing it in a different way. So you're sort of like...
Yeah, I'm motivated to do things like, I do my Instagram, do my YouTube, which now I'm finally earning money from YouTube, channel sponsor, my bags I do. So, I've got all these other things going. It's just the plumbing side of it. I'm happy.
Do you ever think you'll stop then?
How do you mean?
The plumbing side.
Did you want to work in a college? Did you mention that?
I quite like the idea of, when I'm off the tools teaching plumbing, I think I'm good at explaining, because my YouTube, half of it is explaining to apprentices and people, not exactly step to step how to do the job, because you don't really want to give that away on YouTube, but the bits I do explain, people always say you explain that really well. So maybe something like that, or maybe I'll get a cushy job with you here. Just
R&D, mate. I'll stick you
chilling
downstairs.
out. But so first impressions, suit, nice offices. For us, it's a nice tidy van.
Yeah.
So not turning up in an old shit at the van.
And for us as well,
you've got nice
you're gonna
branding
get
on
there.
your workwear.
Yeah.
Do you do anything with the paperwork? So have you got branded paperwork yet? Are you into that? Or?
So like letterheads and that. So
Well, you were the first
tried to.
person. I had other people come and quote me for the back garden. You were the first one to do me an actual invoice and show me the breakdown of the whole thing on paper.
I've been like that from the start.
On paper.
My dad's
I'm
very
serious.
business minded.
I had 5 or 6 people, and then in the end, I just thought,
I've been lucky. You know, my dad's not from the construction world; he's from the business world. And when I was creating what I am and building up, he was very much helping me, guiding me, making sure that the business side of things, protecting myself financially, insurances, looking professional. I mean,
there's
even
so many things like that though that they don't teach at college. You know, like who do you ring, or how do you talk about van insurance or tool insurance? Like, where do you even look for that?
Who teaches a 24-year-old guy who's spent 7 years on the tools to run a business?
You've just got to pick it up.
Exactly, and
I'd
it
love
is
to go back
difficult.
into a school and talk to the lads and say, by the way, I got absolutely no GCSEs. No, I got nothing. I got art, so maybe that's a good thing. But you don't have to be here. You can just sort of report your time and get a trade.
We said
get
that
into
last
it.
night, didn't we? That it's rammed down you that you've got to go to college and
University.
uni.
Yeah. No.
It's not even also now at school. I mean, I'll get people messaging me, and 2 of the guys that work for me now, one of them, he's 26 years old. He had no construction experience at all. And his mum worked in one of my suppliers, and she said to me, "Oh, Dave, are you looking to take on an apprentice?" And I said, "Do you know what? I'm in the process of trying to sort one out." She says, "My son wants a job and he wants to come and be a carpenter. Would you be interested?" And I said, "Yeah." And she went, "Oh, he's 25. I said, "Oh, well, he can't come on as an apprentice then, because I have to pay him differently, and it's funded differently with the government and so on." So I said, if he wants to come on as a labourer, he can come on as a labourer and he'll learn everything. And from there now, he's gone and registered, and he's doing carpentry at night school to get himself a trade, whilst labouring and learning every day on the job anyway.
Yeah.
So he's getting all the knowledge of the tradesman that he's working with, whilst earning a decent wage. And he's took it upon himself to go to college and do night school to get himself a trade, then so he can become a fully qualified tradesman and be one of my tradesmen instead of one of my labourers. Yeah. And I've got a lot of time for that. I mean, I've had people message me on Instagram about it. I put out a screenshot because I had this message from a guy saying he's always wanted to do it. I'm 28. Am I too old?
Oh yeah, I saw
and I said, no, you're not. And I explained to him this situation with the lad who's working for me, and I said, he said to me, "Oh, all my family told me I'm stupid and that I should just keep doing what I'm doing." I said, you've got to do what you want to do, and there's got to be more support, I think. I mean, it's something I spoke about recently with the guys on Fixed Radio. There's got to be more support for that sort of 20 to 30 category for the guys who have slipped the apprenticeship net. Yeah. If they want to become a tradesman, because there is a massive trade shortage.
Especially now with the pandemic and people losing their jobs, like thinking, can I retrain in something?
And how many people coming in and out of uni with a sports science degree or an economics degree? How many jobs is there for them?
Concrete technology, do
Just because they're not sure what they want to do.
Well, that's it. I mean, they end up going straight from school to A levels.
Engineering, Pete. So you're right.
But there seems to be that massive sort of like gulf, so sort of like 20 to 30, and there's a massive trade shortage anyway. Why aren't we doing more to encourage those people to come across, learn a trade, even if it's doing it, the hard way, like what my lad's done. Come, muck in, learn on the job every day, and do what you can. And if there was some funding for that, I think it'd become a lot more attractive for people.
And also, if they really didn't like it, then at least they've tried.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, it's worth it.
Good advice. Yeah. Have you? One thing I wanted to do. Have you got your gag of the day? Because we missed that yesterday.
Oh yeah,
didn't have a gag. And we normally do.
Well,
at least.
Have you got any offensive jokes or any?
Have you got a joke?
I didn't bring any with me. No.
You haven't got a joke. No, you haven't got one that you tell
under
apart.
Pressure.
Mine when I got put under pressure was why did the cockle go to the toilet? Because that's where all the cocks hang out, and he was just like, "What a shit joke."
That's terrible. Right.
I'm thinking Pete's got a good one. I can feel it.
Come on then.
I got a few jokes.
I'll in-show it. PB, gag of the day.
I just warn you, my sense of humour is strange, and I like jokes that are so bad that they're funny.
He has to tell 3 before you get one. That's normally the rule.
We'll just edit the ones out where no one laughs.
Right,
which
ready?
is probably all of them.
Gag of the day.
So, chap wakes up in hospital, and the doctor comes over to him and says, "I've got some good news and bad news for you." He says, "Right, what's the bad news?" He said, "We've had to amputate both your legs." So, well, what's the good news? He says, "The chap in the next bed wants to buy you slippers." So, woman goes to the doctor's. "Doctor, every time I've got a problem, every time I bend over, a whistling noise comes out from between my legs." So he's like, "Well, you're going to have to show me." So she bends over and it's... He's like, "This is incredible. I've never seen anything like it before." "Just do it again." So she bends over. And she's like, "It's becoming a real big problem because I've got a job. I'm a cleaner. And, you know, when I'm cleaning people's houses, every time I bend over..." So he's absolutely stumped. He's never seen anything like this before. So he says, "Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to a conference at the weekend, and there's this guy there. He's the best doctor. He's, you know, been around for years. He's seen everything. He'll know what it is." So he says, "Do it again. Let me record it." So he gets his tape recorder playing. She bends over. So he gets to this conference. At the end of the conference, they're stood there chatting. He goes up to his doctor and he says, "Right, I need your help. I've got this patient." And every time she bends over, whistling noise. So, I've told it wrong.
Oh my word.
Cool.
Jack, edit this bit in.
Mate, don't start telling me again because I need a piece.
No, edit this out. So he goes to this doctor's conference, and at the end he gets this head doctor, and he brings him over to one side and says, "Can I just play you this?" So he presses play on the tape. He's like, "Have you got any ideas?" He says, "Don't know, it just sounds like some whistling."
We got there, didn't we? We got there.
PB's
If
gags.
he paid me a bit more, I'd laugh.
Yeah. So
I always remember what I always remember what my granddad said to me before he kicked the bucket. He said, "I wonder how hard I can kick this bucket."
his jokes like proper real dad jokes, aren't they?
Oh dear.
So what do you want to do to wrap it up?
We've got the lap times.
Got the lap times, yeah.
Find out.
I wonder what will win.
So, just for everybody listening on the audio side, I'll explain it again because I do every single time. We do a lap around the Bahrain circuit, and we've got our Trade Legends leaderboard, which Ryan Davis, not Davies, Pete,
Sorry about that.
is leading our Davis Electrical for all those on social media. And we're going to have a little look at the scores from Mr. Davros, and we're going to have a look at what Will got over there. So
There we go. So
let's see who we've got first. Should we have a little look? And it's Mr. Elwood first.
Please start with a 1.
3 hours.
Is it 1 out in Elwood?
Yeah, it is,
There
yeah.
we go. I'll put D. There.
Elwood.
Delwood. That's the new name when you go in somewhere. And you did it in a 1, 0, 2, 6, 5, 4.
Similar to what I got, but we don't know what I got now. It's been changed so many times.
To be fair,
Well,
it was
that's it.
very close to yours, so I don't know where it was, but yours is like 1 minute 88, which doesn't even exist.
Doesn't
But
that just prove that we don't have time to play computer games?
there's 2 in there.
Too busy grafting.
And now, next up,
HHP.
was he as sticky as Hartley's jam, or was he super fluid?
We've got a new gag of the day.
Gag of the day.
I play.
It's normally fly fishing books.
I play Warzone. I play Warzone with Will most nights, and he's very good at Warzone. So I've got high hopes for him on the fastest lap. I even think.
Yeah.
HPP.
HHP.
I even think he's gone.
Can we go back?
He's gone under the 1 minute. I reckon.
No, I think
With that reaction, I reckon.
I think Ryan's still got it.
I reckon you've just.
To be fair, Pete did say that he thought you were quick. He watched your finger control on that.
You look
thing.
quite streamlined.
Well, if the roof was off, I think I'd have been a bit faster, to be honest.
Look quite streamlined.
You look like you would be quick.
There's a few perks.
So, Will, you did it in 1, 0, 0,
Oh,
7,
He's
3,
done it.
8.
well done, mate.
He's only gone and bloody done it. Top of the leaderboard, mate. Streamlined, Pete.
Streamlined.
There you
Shave your
go.
head,
Do you wanna
boys and
put-
girls.
Top of the leaderboard. Records keep tumbling every show we do.
I think I must have warmed the tyres up.
Stop letting people down.
I love that Delwood. That's what I'm going to call you from now on. Delwood.
Elwood Dave.
Let's move everyone down and we've got a bit more room.
So yeah, top of the leaderboard. What we will also do as well, because we do this every show, is we give away prizes on Power Tool Mate prizes. And what do Power Tools sell, Pete?
Tools.
Tools. This week's prize consists of a fantastic Unilight bundle. Win yourself a UR 4.5 Rogue tool bag, a waterproof hard case, an SLR 1000 and some fantastic Trade Legends beers. And as always, a £250 voucher that you can win for Power Tool Mate prizes. And for full details on how to win all of these prizes this month, check out the comments below on the YouTube or via the website www.tradelegends.uk. The rules to this for everybody listening or watching is we throw 6 darts each, so you both throw 6 darts. All I want to know for the bundle of stuff is who was the winner. And to win the £250 Power Tool Mate prizes voucher, all you got to do is guess the combined score of your 6 darts and your 6 darts, so the closest wins. So the combined score. So we'll
Oh dear.
we'll step up to the line, Will. If you will go first for me. Don't go ooh or ah or anything like that.
So I've got to remember.
If it's well, Pete,
Oh, you're doing it.
Cal Vorderman will add it up over here. So first to throw.
Serious face.
He's hammering those in. It's a good job his driving's better. Davros, or as he's now known, Delwood. Shortened for Del. Here he comes. Dangerous D.
Oh,
Fucking hell, he's a bit tasty, isn't he?
he's in the pub. I'm on the Xbox.
He's a bit fucking tasty, isn't he? All right, all right.
Where's the leaderboard for this?
Fucking, he's a bit... Yeah, that's what we should do. Is actually, whoever gets the highest score from the 6 darts, we'll do a little shout out.
Start from now then.
We've got everyone's scores when we record them anyway. What was the totals there? Did you total it up?
We don't tell you the totals, do we?
I'm gagging for a piss here, Pete.
We don't tell you till afterwards, do we?
I'll ask him anyway.
Shout out to the beer.
Trade Legends beers.
Trade Legends.
Do you want to do the Jerry Spingle final thought?
Yeah, what we offer everyone else, if you've got anything you want to say, you can use this to plug your channel, or if you've got, you might be political, you might have...
That was funny last night, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So our Davies Ryan, he was like, yeah, so it's R Davies Electrical across all my socials, blah, blah, blah. And he got up, The Apprentice, and he was like, so for anyone watching, if you want to get into the trades, and you want to, and he was like literally like a real motivational speech.
Yeah.
And he went,
man of the people.
I feel like a right prick now.
I don't know, really. I guess, I think hopefully at 24, I can prove that you're never too young. So, don't feel scared, because everyone asks me about going into houses and being a young person. You can prove to them you can do it. Yeah, there's no stopping you. Just go for it. Yeah.
I'm going to go shameless plug.
Elwood Enterprises.
Get on Elwood Enterprises if you want to see the daily stuff on Instagram. Go and have a look at that. If you want to see me abuse trollers, then get on the TikTok. And massive
Or if
giveaway.
you want to give him abuse, get on TikTok.
Massive giveaway when I've reached 10,000 followers on Instagram, which shouldn't be too long now. So
Yeah. So if you're watching, give him a follow on Instagram. You're on Instagram.
Yeah,
YouTube.
Yeah, trying to grow that. So I'm gonna get some more content out.
Now you're going to go on
After
TikTok.
watching all of this and seeing how
Can't leave us to
No,
just do TikTok on our own.
no.
Badly.
For the young boys.
These two are doing. How many followers you got on TikTok?
I don't know. It goes up all the time.
You're on
not
about
that many.
20k, aren't you? He doesn't follow anyone. I
Pete's
always
is
have him.
mostly
I
women.
always have him about this. He doesn't
think I'm
follow
about
anyone.
6,500 on TikTok,
What
but it's-
misery! Doesn't even follow
it's
trade
on the
legends.
way up.
Can you believe it? God, doesn't even follow trade legends on TikTok.
He's so thirsty.
Disgusting.
Always tagging me in all his stories.
Disgusting. Acknowledge me, Peter.
I have a personal account and a business account, so I separate everything, and I think that's the best way to do it.
All I say about Alex
Literally.
is if DFS has got a sale on, he's got a competition on. He's got a giveaway on.
You got to keep it fresh, mate. Everyone loves a freebie, don't they?
Yeah.
Too right.
I know I do. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, cheers,
Obviously,
lads.
Thanks for having me.
I'll expect you there early for my garden on Monday, and yeah, good luck with the business, mate.
Thank you
And
so much.
the best news is we're off out to Miller and Carter for dinner, and I'm starving.
It's all on
Steak,
Pete.
but you're not getting anything else after Pete.
I want 2 steaks.
You're getting a steak, but nothing else after that. So yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Brilliant.
Last one, Jack.
Thanks, Jack. Jack.
Thank you for listening to the Trade Legends podcast. Bloody marvellous. With thanks to our sponsors, Church Farm Brewery, the best beers in town. Also, Power Tool Mate. If you want to get your hands on a really good tool, it's the only place to shop. Lastly, our good friends Fix Radio, the only radio station specifically for the trade in the UK.